Welcome back to the only show on the planet that talks about the important but often ignored subject of counterfeits. We are here to continue our programming, our discussion on the subject of counterfeits. We can move like a pendulum from one side to the other. Last week we were talking about counterfeits in wine, or also called wine fraud. I hope you enjoyed that show. This week we are shifting into something totally different. We have jumped into the mysterious world, or is it the real world, of artificial intelligence. Join me in welcoming our guest to help us understand how artificial intelligence is. A young man, very interesting young man here, Douglas Ochan Khan.
Onen Chan.
Onen Chan. Are you trying to be artificial? Because we know there is Onen. I've never had Onen Chan.
Not necessarily.
I've never had any, even the production team here was saying, but this man made a mistake in his name. He's called Onen. Then you are insisting you are Onen Chan.
No.
Who is Onen Chan, Douglas?
Onen Chan Douglas is a final year student of artificial intelligence and machine learning at Eastport University here in Kampala. We are glad to be among the first 10 artificial intelligence engineers in Uganda.
The first 10?
The first 10 in East Africa. It's only Eastport that's offering that course right now as a bachelor's degree course.
And the course is for how long?
It's a 3-year course. And as a person, I am, I should say, a seasoned innovator, the developer of iByRex, which...
Before we go to iByRex, you know, this whole thing of artificial, for us who are old school, whenever you say artificial, we imagine artificial limb, you know. So this is about something not real.
Yeah.
And because this show is about counterfeits, counterfeits imitate the real thing. They are not genuine.
Yeah.
I can even say they are also artificial.
They are.
So do you see a similarity, a relationship between artificial intelligence and counterfeits?
Yeah, for the mere fact that you've already said that they are not the genuine one. If you talk about artificial intelligence, it's something that is borrowed from the humans. And if you talk about counterfeit products, these are things that are imitating the real genuine products.
So is it right to say that artificial intelligence engineering is the study of how to fake, or how to fake it till you make it? You know, there is that saying, fake it till you make it. Is artificial intelligence the study of faking?
You could say so, as the study of, but you saying the study of faking might be not a so good language to us who are studying it. But
isn't it true that you actually, maybe it is not faking, maybe, because you told me of air that the purpose of artificial intelligence is to support and assist human endeavor and efforts.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? So that in itself is not a bad thing. So that's not faking.
Yeah.
Because faking cannot have a good objective. So maybe what you're saying is that it can look like faking, but it actually has a good what? A good objective.
A much better objective than
the faker who just wants to harm you and take from you and deny you.
Exactly.
Okay, so in simple terms, what is artificial intelligence and machine learning, these things you study?
So to start with artificial intelligence, we could basically say that it's making machines think, or machines thinking. Now,
making machines
to think. And then when you bring in machine learning, now it's machine learning that empowers artificial intelligence.
Okay, let's first stop at the thinking
So,
bit. In order to think, you must have a conscience. The only animals on this earth that have a conscience and can think about the past, remember the past, and think about the future are human beings. A goat doesn't think about tomorrow.
yeah.
Eh? Or the past. It doesn't have that conscience. Is artificial intelligence trying to recreate the human, if you like, the human existence, or the thinking abilities for humans? This cup doesn't think. This phone doesn't think. Are you trying to interfere with God's creation?
It's not necessarily to interfere with God's creation, because as humans, we ought to, as God commanded us, we must work. And as we go to work, we as humans have learned to evolve our working skills, and so we need to make our work easier. You could say that as a human, you have maybe an acre of land that you want to till. That would take you weeks to do that, but it would be easier, faster, and it could be done in just an hour if I employed a tractor. So as we humans continue to evolve and explore the planet, we are also learning to innovate and make our work easier. And so that's when AI comes in to make our work easier. So it's
but the thinking bit, you're running away from it, because your example of a tractor, for us, we understand tractors to be started by a man and driven by a man and so on. But artificial intelligence, a thinking tractor, a tractor which will think and say, today I think I need to clear this field. And it goes on its own and starts to clear the field. Thinking machine. And my question is, aren't you interfering? Maybe is there even a biblical anchoring or basis for artificial intelligence? Maybe a verse somewhere which said, and man shall create another
machines
another model man, or another. Because some people attack artificial intelligence for, they think it's not godly, maybe it is devilish or whatever. In your study of artificial intelligence, do you find a base somewhere in religion?
The base that we find in the Bible is where God told us in Genesis to subdue the world. That means we need to have authority in the world, right? Over the other creation. But AI itself, we should not necessarily say that we have a base in the Bible. But we also cannot say that it's a misconception that we have of the Bible.
But you're not taking God's place and creating other humans or human-like things.
We are not taking God's role, but I think that we are still playing the same role that God told us to work, subdue the world. But in that process of subduing the world or multiplying and taking control of what we have on earth, one of that is making one way to do an efficient job in subduing and taking control of the world is make our work smart, make our work easier. And so when you bring AI, artificial intelligence, and now you have, just for an example, right now we have a student doing a project, a lawnmower that is smart, and it knows when the grass is tall enough to be slashed down, and it goes by itself and slashes and comes back.
I think, Douglas, I don't have a problem with you creating machines to help make our life easy. I think the biggest worry for everyone is when you start going into the realm of making human-like machines. You know, we see in the movies a robot. I saw some robot, artificial intelligence, a lady speaking, and sometimes you even see the AI that you create, the human AI gets angry with its creator, the human being, and finishes them, and AI is going to finish us. In that context of you guys creating humans, not lawn mowing machines or tractors, that you are creating humans. It is that aspect, the ethics of it, the counterfeiting, if you like. Can you talk to that?
I think as an AI developer, it's very hard for me to not be on my side, but the debate...
Be on the human side, that there is another robot, the guy will come in here, pick that camera and order me around and say, if you don't do this, I shoot or something. Isn't it dangerous to create artificial human beings who will take your place, and you come and I interview a robot here? Next time you'll bring a robot, I talk to it, it answers things. Isn't that dangerous? Shouldn't you stop there and just do for us the lawnmowers and tractors?
So actually the dangers of making humanoids is a real... Actually...
they are called humanoids.
Yeah, they're called humanoids. Those are robots that can walk on two legs, can have the human-like real reasoning, and, you know, have the real human-like performance. Apparently, in the US, they are trying to come up with rules that regulate the level of development of artificial intelligence. Why? Because the humanoids present an imminent threat. And actually, a very renowned researcher whose name I just forgot, wrote in his article and said that robots or humanoids could spell end of the human race. And that, you cannot take it lightly. Even myself as an AI developer,
they will come for you at night.
I recognize that danger. Because the level of development that we're giving onto AI is far beyond any efforts that we as humans have made into developing anything else.
That is the issue, because I wonder whether AI is actually regulated. Because I saw some, again on social media, I don't know the president of which country, there was a robot walking, but it was armed. It was the president's bodyguard. Was it Saudi Arabia or Bahrain? And it was armed, and there was some footage there that it's armed, I don't know with how many millimeter gun and this and this. Supposing the thing thinks that Douglas is not good and it shoots him. This is what I'm trying to talk about. You do a robot and arm it. Is AI development regulated?
AI development is not regulated. To be honest, it's not regulated. Even the US right now, as they are trying to fight OpenAI's founders, Altman, is been appearing in the House of Representatives to answer questions relating to AI's potential as a potential hazard or harm to humans. But AI's development is really not regulated, because per se in Uganda, for example, if we talk about the Ugandan context, Eastport University being the first to offer it as a degree, I know
it was approved by the National Council for Higher Education.
Yes.
So, is it one of the expired degrees, or these AI degrees don't expire?
No, what I know is that the courses are...
Are you sure you're not doing an expired course?
No, it's not an expired course. I know the courses do expire, but the expiry is really supposed to be in quotes, because it does not really discredit the course. Just that the universities have to make updates to the course and reapply. Yes, and reapply to the National Council for Higher Education for reapproval. But for our case, we are safe, because my university, Eastport University, does very regular updates to the courses. Actually, I can tell you that what I studied, the course units I studied when I joined my first semester, is not the same exact things that the people who are in first semester right now are doing. So that's how quick Eastport is adjusting to that.
So I think you are really, you belong to the future, you're trending. I would like you to comment on this. For us on this platform, we think that the counterfeiters, the people who are faking others' products and copying and selling them and duplicating, they are using artificial intelligence, not for the machines, but in the brain. Okay?
Yeah.
They use their artificial intelligence to fabricate and copy the thing, instead of using their natural intelligence to go and make a product of their own.
An original product.
So, to what extent do you think this innovation of artificial intelligence is going to promote another version of human artificial intelligence to fake and copy and be creative as well. Do you think that as artificial intelligence in machines booms, it's also going to promote artificial intelligence in human beings to start faking and copying products?
Yes, that's very true. One of the many factors that make that statement very, very, very true, and one that people should pay attention to, is that most of the developments happening in AI right now, they all fall mostly under what we call the open source license. That means that the code of my work is readily available for anybody to access my code. That means that somebody can jump on my code, just alter the name of my project, put a few tweaks around there, and then they have a new version of my product, and then they call it different name, and it's their own. Same thing that AI, if you've seen, there's what we call generative adversarial neural networks. Now, these are neural networks, part of artificial intelligence, that are capable of generating new patterns from old patterns. Now, what these neural networks do is, for example, if I feed it with the pictures of you and me, and I want to now generate a picture of a third person in this house, I just give it your picture and my picture, and then I just tell it, okay, create a human or a picture from these two pictures, but in it, give it long beards and
white hair.
White hair, and then it will create a third person and put it right there in front of us. Now, that's the creativity of AI. It's creating a fake third person from you and me by just copying you and me. That's counterfeit. Real life.
So the more reason why we actually need regulation and control of AI. We're back with the second segment. This is the League of the Genuine Conversations. If you're just joining us, the only show on the planet where we discuss the important but often ignored subject of counterfeits. If you have never seen an artificial intelligence engineer, we have one right here in the house. The only difference is that he is human. I can feel he's real. He's not artificial, but he's here to help us understand the dynamics of artificial intelligence and how it fits in the whole puzzle of counterfeits. Artificial intelligence and counterfeits. Can artificial intelligence help us to trace, to track, to detect counterfeits?
The answer is a big yes. I'll start from your very last, I think the last three words: tracking, tracing. Artificial intelligence has evolved through the years from mere text inputs to high definition pictures to patterns. Now, if you look at convolutional neural network, this is what we call the state-of-the-art artificial intelligence model that analyzes images. Though recently we've got also we've had transformers come through from Facebook. Now, if you talk about fighting counterfeit products, I think AI should be an important tool in that. One is because the counterfeit products have, many of them, actually the majority have physical properties that we can identify. Just that most of them are done in a very nice way that the human eye cannot detect. But with digital image processing and neural networks, the convolutional neural network, we can dive deep into the images, analyze them, and really classify that this is fake or this is good. That's called image classification. Or you can also make a review video of it and you use video classification. So the neural network will...
So it can be used. Actually, I've just gone online here and I punched in artificial intelligence to fight counterfeits. And I can see that it's actually being used in many cases to detect the packaging, the outside, the symbols, the signs, and I think also to detect the inside for the products. Yeah. I'm seeing here authentics and they say that they help several brands with cutting-edge technological tools in brand protection solutions. Now, if artificial intelligence can be used to protect products from counterfeits, then the reason we don't have a lot of it, a lot of this artificial intelligence grabbing people at the supermarket. So I would love to see a marionette or robot in Chikuwo chasing counterfeiters who are selling, because it's sniffing them and it can see. Speak to us about the cost of artificial intelligence. Is it expensive? Is it an intermediate technology that is easier to develop? Because I've seen you develop the helicopter, you develop something to help the blind people. Speak about the cost. Is it accessible, affordable?
So AI, as we know, is an emerging technology. But I always have an issue with us Africans and Ugandans. We always, when you talk about the emerging technologies, the very first thing that comes into our mind is it's expensive, it's out of our reach. But artificial intelligence, you can say it's an intermediate tool that we can develop in Uganda. I will not talk about
what are the ingredients. Do I need to buy steel and then I get some cement to do a bit? Just paint a picture for me.
So,
or I just get some software and.
So the most expensive part of artificial intelligence is the data collection. If you want to get authentic data, then you must invest in collecting the data set.
What do you mean? Data like, if for example, I want artificial intelligence to help me to detect this cup and its content. This is water. Assuming this is a product and this is its packaging. So are you talking of the data collection of the properties of this cup, the color, the material, to feed it into this machine so that the next time it comes across this machine, it identifies it?
Exactly.
So collecting this data is what you're saying is hard.
Yes. So why it becomes hard is that machine learning models like convolutional neural networks depend on large amounts of data set. So feeding it with 100 pictures is not going to give you results. You need to...
Oh.
Yes.
So if I want the sample of this, I don't do one sample.
Yes.
I do 1,000.
1,000 pictures would make a better result. So if...
Why? But if like you said, the other guy who faked a combination between me and you, why would you need 1,000 pictures of me or 1,000 pictures of Douglas? Just take one picture, feed the machine, and the guy is good to go.
No.
What's the science behind several feeds?
What we need from the several pictures is that one, the reason is what we call feature extraction. So if I take a picture of this cup, these are two same cups, right? These are two same cups. We can say that two same cups. But if I take a picture of this cup from my angle, it has different features. Now, what makes it different is the lighting is different.
Let's use this phone. Yes. I want to use AI to detect a fake BlackBerry. Take me through the process of taking the pictures of this phone to feed it into the robot so that it can detect.
So what we have to do is we need to take pictures of this phone from all angles, right? So we'll take this front face, we take the back, we take the side, we take this, we take that, we take that.
Those are 6 pictures.
Not just 6 yet. Your BlackBerry, when you're using it, it has different lighting, there are different themes, there are different, inside the phone. This phone might be, let's say, 1,600 megapixels screen. So
for each pixel or for each screen that is displayed,
yes,
you take a picture of it.
So we may decide to take pictures of the different screens because our eyes do not recognize those patterns, but the machine learning module can, in what we call feature extraction. Now we have several layers of convolution. So if I'm analyzing the back of this phone, using a convolutional neural network per se.
So how many pictures would you take for this bag? Because it's one bag with a few small things. You take like 100 pictures?
We can take like 100.
For this bag alone?
Yes, varying the... What we are looking at is accuracy and the reliability of the model that we are making. So I would love to take these pictures of this same phone from different angles with varying light ranges. Because one, where you're going to deploy the model is not the same house. So for example, if I took a picture of this phone right here, this will have a different
shade.
And so those shades or the differences in the shade
can affect the accuracy.
Yes. So if I take it from here, it has different number of pixels. If I go in a dark room and take, it has a different number of pixels.
So in other words, you fit this robot with pictures of this phone in darkness, in wet conditions, in humid, in whatever. So this is what you're saying takes time.
Yes.
To get it right, to have the full range spectrum of images to feed in. And maybe that is why we're not having AI so much in the fight against counterfeits, because it's labor intensive
to get the data sets. So for example, if we're talking about Movit products, then I have to take several pictures of the same Movit product from here in Kampala. The pictures, by the time the products go from Kampala to Gulu, the wrapping of the product during transportation is different.
I thought artificial intelligence was premised on thinking and cleverness. But now you're talking of a very manual process in getting the images. Why don't I just take one picture of this Movit or BlackBerry product, and since this guy is artificial and intelligent, he will think of how it will be like in Gulu. It can project how it will be like in London and answer, why must I go to London, take a picture? Go this way and take a picture. Why isn't artificial intelligence using artificial intelligence to gather information?
Now, why we call it artificial intelligence is because on its own, it does not have its own intelligence. So this intelligence must be crafted into it by you, the human. That's why we have, before you come up to a robot, there's data collection stage, and then there's data cleaning stage, and then there's the model training stage. And now when you pick this model that's trained, now one thing you do not also want to do is you don't want to train your model to recognize just one object. It would be a costly thing. So what you want to do is make your model able to recognize a few other things. That's why you need several pictures.
So artificial intelligence is daft to some extent. It's actually not very intelligent. Because I thought when somebody is intelligent, intelligence kids in school, they don't have to be told everything. You tell them one thing and they pick the rest. Those are intelligent. They don't robot and they parrot everything.
Yes, now here comes where we need to talk about, maybe we need to dive deeper into AI and, paint a better picture.
Me, I'm talking like a lay guy, as you can see. So I want us to appreciate.
So let me just give you a brief of the AI. Yeah, so AI, as a huge term, is a combination or an integration of machine learning modules and basic thinking algorithms. Now, if you have this algorithm, combine it with the...
Algorithm is a pattern.
Yes, an algorithm is a step-by-step procedure of doing a certain task. If I want to get out of this house, the first thing I have to do is stand up. And then avoid this table. And
walk sideways and go out.
Walk sideways, open the door, and I go.
So that's a pattern established.
Yes, that's a pattern. Now, then I bring the machine learning module. Then I put together with this algorithm.
Feed it with the...
Yes, and together they become artificial intelligence. But that's just artificial intelligence as a whole. But there are types of artificial intelligence. There are general purpose artificial intelligence. There's a single purpose artificial intelligence. Now, the single purpose, it's tailored to do one specific thing. For example, recognize one single car. That's a limited AI. Then the general purpose is one that can recognize this, can maybe pick words from the humans, maybe produce back the audio. That's general purpose. But before we come there, let me run through the marathon of how it comes. Now, the real start of AI, or the heart of AI, is in machine learning. So machine learning is the stage where the machine learns different patterns in the data. It will learn that this is a cup, this is a phone, this is a human. But also in that learning stage, there are three different types of learning. The supervised learning, where I take a picture of this cup and provide the name that is a red cup. So when I'm training the model, I give the model the name red cup and the picture of the red cup. So that's supervised. Now, then there's the second one, which is semi-supervised. That means that for one part of the training, for the starting part of the training, I give the machine the name of this cup and the picture of this cup. But then in the algorithm, I instruct the model to learn more things on its own.
On its own. Okay.
Yes. So as if it comes across a cup, it knows this is a cup. But if it comes across this flower vase, it does not know that this is a flower vase. But it will label it in a given cluster or category. So it now knows this as a cup, and it knows this as a flower vase, and this as a cup.
And the third one?
And then the third one is what they call unsupervised learning, which is where ChatGPT falls. Now here, I train a model in what we call pre-training and transfer learning. So I train the model with a basic data set, and then I deploy that model. Now, for every data set that it comes across, for example, let's say it comes across this cup, it's new. It's a new data instance. Now, what it does is look at the features of this cup and store it in it, and it learns the pattern of this cup. When it comes across this, it also learns the patterns of this. When it comes to you, it will learn how your pattern.
So it can
also
be have a multi-level.
Yes.
But from what you're saying, it is clear that artificial intelligence cannot survive without the human touch. It actually relies on human beings. Is that true?
It does.
Okay, so we shouldn't be so worried about it after all, because we are the bosses.
No, we should worry because the second and third, actually all the learning models are dangerous. All the learning models are dangerous. That's to be honest. Even though I would love to defend AI, but also we need to let the public.
They can be abused. They can be abused.
Yes.
And because for us, we understand that the menace of counterfeits is caused by humanity, by we human beings.
Exactly.
So I'm beginning to see some limitations of AI as well, because it's controlled by human beings, and we human beings can be corrupt, we can be unethical, we can be counterfeiters. So we can also contaminate artificial intelligence with inbuilt counterfeit. That is what I am seeing here. We're back with the third and last segment. This episode is dedicated to artificial intelligence and counterfeits. An artificial intelligence engineer to be a humanoid. You said humanoid?
Humanoid.
Humanoid. Those are the artificial guys who walk around and threaten us. Before you tell us what you have done, we see your expertise and skill here. You are saying that artificial intelligence is prone to counterfeiting. Can you elaborate?
As we talk about counterfeits, yes, AI itself, artificial intelligence itself, is prone to counterfeit because because the trend in development of today, it's open source development,
meaning free for all. You can develop it for whatever purpose, whatever use, good or bad.
And for the mere fact that the regulation is really not there, so it opens a huge universe of possibilities of counterfeiting AI itself. And so this, as AI also grows more creative, you know, now that AI can draw pictures and can design products, there are cars that are being designed by AI, there are pictures being drawn by AI, there are products there are medicines being formulated by AI. So it also offers a huge tool to the people who have already been in the counterfeit business
to use it to make dangerous products.
So you will walk into a mall or a supermarket or whatever place you buy your products from, and you'll get products that are crafted by AI, the unregulated developer. The possibility of it being used to produce counterfeit products, and
so you don't need a license to develop AI.
You don't need no license to develop any AI tool. There are people doing it for everything. For the mere fact that we don't have regulations on AI, it's an open pool for anybody to scoop from.
But that's quite dangerous. But it was a sigh of relief you telling me that for your artificial intelligence developments, at least you've gone through some registration of the utility model and so on. Tell the audience, what have you developed in artificial intelligence, and are you among those people who are using artificial intelligence for obnoxious and dangerous purposes, or for you it is for the good? What are you doing with AI?
I'd love to start by from where you stopped. Myself, I use AI for good. I have a long history with working with people. I'm a leader, former head prefect at Nalia, SS Boyogerere, in Mwiri, Busawa College Mwiri in Jinja. I have had enough experience and exposure with the community, and that has actually been a huge inspiration for me coming into AI. And so the very first thing that I have used AI for is to make what we call eye birates. Unfortunately, I didn't carry it here, but it's a glass like yours that helps blind people, whether you're completely blind or you have a low vision. It helps you to recognize objects.
So you wear it like this?
Exactly. So you just
so if you're blind and you wear it, all of a sudden you start seeing stars.
No, it's not like you start seeing stars. At the moment, where we are at the development stage, it recognizes objects, all the things, but gives you audio feedback.
Now just take me through that again. Following the process that you said of getting the images to fit this robot or these glasses to be able to identify, how did you get all the images, possible images that this blind person is likely to see on the road, the trees and so on? How did you feed all of them into the glass for the person now for them to be recognizable?
So what we did was come up with, we first of all went to the ground, spoke to the blind people to assess what their most immediate need. Yeah. So what they told us is that they have a real problem walking around. They have real problem finding objects around. They have real problem reading books. They do not access information. They also are left out on mobile device usage. So we said, okay, we can start from the 4.
So you fed in 4 things.
Yes.
Which is the roads.
Now,
the streets. You went and got a familiar street where the blind person walks, or you went to all the streets of Kampala?
Fortunately for us, as the technology grows, people are developing several data sets. So we gathered different data sets, and where we found gap, we went on ground and took our own pictures. Those pictures that we took for ourselves included local footpaths in Uganda, because in the US you may not see those footpaths.
So you went and fed in this glass all the footpaths in Uganda and put them here?
Not all the footpaths, but the machine is able to, after you've trained, it's able to recognize and classify similar things together. So
no, I'm asking, if these glasses that you made, the artificial intelligence glasses, were for somebody, let's say in Kampala.
Yes, sir.
You got the footpaths of which part of Kampala?
We did footpaths around Boyogerere and Chireka. Now, those are called representative images.
So the guy using it, when they're in Boyogerere, they will see.
Yes.
But if they go to the other side of Rubaga?
No, they will still see. But you
didn't enter in the information of Rubaga.
No, what we do here is what we trained the model. Yeah? So what we did was we identified representative areas. That was Boyogere and Chireka. We got the areas with the different footpaths, and then these footpaths are similar to footpaths all around Uganda.
Not possible.
Now, what?
It's not possible. The footpath in Boyogere cannot be the same footpath. Like
It's not the same. It's not the same, but they have a characteristic. One is that if you are in the bush or in a bushy area, there's always that slim, dusty path created, and then there's the bush along the side. So that's the same pattern that you'll find everywhere. If there's a footpath, there's that small, dusty path, and then there's grass.
Okay, there'll be grass on the side.
Yes,
that is
sir.
a generic feature.
Generic
for
feature.
footpaths.
Exactly.
But I'm saying the specific path, if the blind person is wearing your AI goggles and they want to go to Chambogo University and they are busy getting generic information of the footpaths in Soroti and Kigezi, they are the same. They will never reach the university to go to the library to read.
What happens is that when we feed, these images are not fed to the glass direct. We feed it to the machine learning module, deep learning modules, that themselves learn features. There's what we call feature extraction, convolution. So they extract features of the footpath, and so they are able to classify, to recognize footpath anywhere. So now we pick these machine learning modules and then we put onto the glass. Now what we did was, like I told you, we selected 4 major problems of the blind people. So we knew there was walking, there's mobile device users, there was book reading, and then there was walking. So when you want to walk, you must be able to first recognize the path, recognize objects, right? So we did the training in that. So when you want to read books, you need to recognize what we call the handwriting or printed characters. So we train a specific model to do that. And also we said, because it's a conversational device, so you speak to it and it does what it performs all the processing and then gives you an audio output. We also needed a model that understands human language. And now as I talk, we are developing models that understand Luganda, understand Acholi, understand Runyankore and Lusoga. So you can speak to the device in all those languages and it will speak back to you in the same language. Now, we also said that they needed to use a mobile device. So we also had to develop an algorithm for using a mobile device. So with our device, a blind person can actually have a phone and talk to the phone. Hey, send a text message to Kanso Mwema. Tell him, hello, good afternoon, sir. And the phone, using our sister software, will immediately, you'll see a WhatsApp message on your phone, bling. I say, hey, call Mr. Ashraf and tell him I'll be coming there soon. So what happens is the sister software in your phone will do all the calling, will find Mr. Ashraf's number, dials it, and then I'll be able to listen to.
And this is in use now?
This,
or you're still testing?
We are in the process of usability testing, and we've done about 10
You've done proof of concept?
Yes.
And it has passed?
Yes,
but again,
passed.
You're not regulated, so you're the one regulating yourself. Do you go like to somebody, to some standards body or somewhere to say this is dangerous or something? We're relying on your goodwill that you'll do something right. We're not going to have blind people crossing the road and getting knocked.
No, you will not, because what we're doing is a usability testing. So, what that means is that we put them in different use cases. So for example, I say, Mr. Kanso Mwema, you're going to use the device to read a newspaper and also find an article about Museveni on the internet. So you are supposed to pick up your book and then you ask the device to read it for you. It'll read for you the book. Then you also ask it, what did His Excellency Museveni say today? Then the device by itself goes on the internet and finds relevant information on with the most recent dates and then gives you to that.
How many of these goggles are in use now? How many people are using them?
We have not yet handed it to anybody.
But you're just doing pilot.
Yes, so we come and we organize a
sample
team of
space
20.
For your pilot? 2 blind, 3, 10?
We collect 20.
20.
Yeah, so for the 20, we pick like 10 completely blind, which is very hard to get. And most times, because now I'm a student, it's hard to transport them and bring them. So most times we pick about 3 completely blind, and then we get those with low vision.
And what is the cost? You must have put in a lot of money.
The cost, I am happy that Eastport University has been a huge hand, has given a huge hand in getting the people. And
so they gave you $1 million to develop this?
No. All the development cost has been on my parents.
What is the cost like? $1,000 to do this?
Yeah.
Because we want to encourage some people out there who fear that these things are out of reach, that maybe it's affordable.
So what I love to tell people is, let me turn to the camera and tell them that it's very affordable. You need very basic materials, and to me, the full production, catering with the losses also, the things that we broke and spoiled, I think $1,000 for all because the production has been, now the process has taken 2 years. So there's the starting one where it's not yet working very well, you abandon the entire board, and you buy the new board, you buy new cameras, you buy new things, and you keep.
You've said that artificial intelligence is susceptible to counterfeiting. What is the chance that your innovation, which I must say is a great innovation, can be counterfeited? Especially seeing as open source, people are hearing what you're saying and they could be copying.
Now, there's every possibility that somebody can pick up on this. I actually came across some gentleman, I think he's from Nigeria, because my innovation was published in the newspaper of Daily New Vision on, is it 19th or 17th of April. So it made news, and I have friends who are now in Nigeria studying. So when they shared these things, there are gentlemen tried reaching out to me to buy, and when I said no, this is something we want to use to impact the society, I rejected his offer of purchase. So it felt bad, and somehow, and a few months, I came across his team
developing something like the same.
The same.
So how are you protecting your intellectual property in this innovation?
To do in Uganda.
What have you done to protect it?
We've applied for, we tried applying for a patent right, but URSB said we can only apply for a utility model, to which we accepted, and we applied for a utility model, and they've gotten back to us after months, and they've told us, okay, you passed through, but just maybe add a technical, specify the technical field in which this innovation belongs, and then we grant you.
Wow. We're about to end. There is a new wave, Chat
GTP.
Is that also artificial intelligence?
Yes, Chat GTP belongs under the what they call the generative artificial intelligence. What that means is that if you give it a prompt, which is a question, it should be able to give you feedback that is closely related to your question. ChatGPT is from OpenAI, founded by Altman in the US, and it went through a very serious process of training, which was under, if you recall, there was unsupervised learning. So they fed it with almost all the data that was available on the internet for about 3 years, and it has learned several things. Just that with supervised learning at the moment, though it seems advanced, but it's not as well tunable as we should have. So, like everybody knows now, ChatGPT, if I enter one prompt, a given question, I can keep regenerating answers from it, and it will give me different answers. So,
don't you think it has a downside? It can promote counterfeiting in education. Some people can use it to cheat and malpractice and all those things.
Yes, I don't want to I don't want to sound like I'm against OpenAI or I'm against ChatGPT, but it has all the potential dangers for education sector.
And it's still not regulated.
And it's not regulated. Though the US is trying to regulate it, but that regulation might only apply in the US, and not in Uganda. For people need to be informed that parents need to get worried about this, because kids, if I call us so, students are at universities. Now we can go around doing as we please, because we know that at the end of it all, we can have ChatGPT come to our aid when it comes to saving the semester. We call it saving the semester, doing final minute reading.
So it has the pros and cons, like anything else. Lastly, you have showed me you have taken interest in doing weekly reviews on counterfeits.
Yeah.
There is a video playing just right now where you are able to show us some fake lighting systems or bulbs.
Yeah.
What is your finding in these fake electricals or lights that is being shown in that video? What's your message to the viewers on these lightings?
Now, I would really want to warn the society to be really very, very, very keen when you're buying products on the market. Be very keen, because you see, these products, it's not just good enough to talk about them as being counterfeit, but it's very important for us to talk about the real
Specifically
danger.
on this lighting, what did you find? You were telling me that it flicks and it may not be visible to the eye, and it's quite dangerous. It makes people go blind.
Yeah, so what happens is that in the light bulbs, there's what we call the frequency. The electricity that comes with our grid has its frequency from 50 hertz to 60 hertz. Now, light bulbs, the LEDs that we are using now are supposed to have what we call rectifiers. Now, these rectifiers are supposed to
balance out and normalize the
flicking and cut it out, so that we have from AC to close to direct AC current, so that it does not blink. Unfortunately, there are so many fake products on the market right now.
The bulbs and the lights. So you're saying they are all flicking and we are not seeing.
Yes.
And when we look in it, we are actually hurting the eyes.
Blind. Now, here is what happens, that when you put up that fake light bulb in your house, it's blinking at a frequency of 60 hertz. That's so fast for your brain to
appreciate.
Now, unfortunately for us, the humans, our brains have evolved, and the brain has a given part of it that is dedicated to normalizing out things that are too fast for it to process. So when the light is blinking so fast, the brain ignores it. But it does not mean that the eyes have ignored it.
The eye is exposed.
The eyes are exposed to this light. And if you expose yourself to using this light bulb for at least 3 years, by the end of those 3 years, if you go check your eyes, you will definitely be sick, and you'll be recommended, you'll have to buy the glasses immediately.
No, I didn't look at those lights for my glasses carefully. Maybe I did.
Maybe you did, but I'm not saying it's the cause.
So you're saying that for you, you're an activist, apart from being an artificial engineer.
Yeah.
You come into the normal world and do real things and review and help us to get to know about the dangers of these electrical appliances like the bulbs.
Yes.
No, I think we need to do a lot of work with you. We can see how to use artificial intelligence to help fight counterfeits, but also to detect, like in those things that you have said. So, your parting shot to the viewers on counterfeits.
I would love to warn you that counterfeit products are a real danger to you, and you should stop looking at it as something you can ignore. You can ignore it today, but it will catch up with you tomorrow. So when you're buying products, make sure that as you decide what to buy, you should also know the exact specifications of the things that you're going to buy. Now, that's going to help you in many ways. One, if I already know what I need or the specifications of the things I'm going to buy, I am able to recognize the difference between what I have, the knowledge of the product, and what is being presented to me. So if Coca-Cola is supposed to be written in a certain way, and the Coca-Cola I've got in a given shop is written in a different way, I should be able to tell that, okay, this is not the right one, and abstain from buying such. And even when it comes to electronics that are the hardest to detect, you should ask questions. Me, when I go to buy light bulbs, I ask questions to the shop attendant. I will ask the person to put that light bulb into the socket, each one by one.
Basically, you're saying, let us be alert.
Alert.
If you're buying an electrical, have it tested.
Have it tested.
It might have a batch number or whatever. If you can use the QR code or whatever, you check if this was actually a legit manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly.
You can also check the outside, the packaging. A lot of information is on the packaging. Sometimes the names are misspelled, from Philips to Philips to whatever, Sonia to, So, and then you are basically saying the responsibility is in our hands.
It's
to protect
yours,
ourselves.
To protect yourself.
We have had a very, very unique and out-of-the-box conversation here. We have just learned, and I hope you have learned as well, that even in artificial intelligence, we have the masquerade of counterfeits presenting its ugly head. Counterfeits are virtually everywhere. We are committed to giving you all the information that is required in the fight against counterfeits, because we believe that an informed consumer is an empowered consumer. We appreciate you making a date with us. Every Friday, we are here speaking about counterfeits. If you like what we are doing, please do hit that subscriber button. Do share the video and put the notification to be notified every time we have a new episode. Until then, don't be fake, buy and sell genuine.